So, I mean, the truth is, if Jesus really wanted to, he could have turned the fish into tofu.
Yeah, he could have done that, Look at some seitan.
I mean, he had... Adventfit is a podcast that has a holistic approach to physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. In each episode, we share productive ways to live a healthier and happier lifestyle. Unlike other podcasts in this space, Adventfit gives you a comprehensive approach to fitness without the fluff for the everyday Christian. People look at fitness mainly as physical, like working out, and also as they look at it as working out, exercise, and look at it as diet. I know for our church, diet is like the biggest thing. The most important
people
thing.
make it a spiritual issue, which is not, and that's annoying. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like when they do New Start, right? The first thing and nutrition. They love talking about nutrition, but I think nutrition is important to talk about.
Definitely important.
And so we're going to be talking about that today. What do you think is the ideal diet?
There is no ideal diet. Whatever works for you. But as Adventists, like we have a specific diet. I wouldn't say it's not a kosher diet because
it's very similar.
Yeah, the kosher diet, they can't eat meat and cheese, but it's like a halal diet, basically.
Yeah, so in terms of what kind of meat we can eat, it's basically a kosher diet.
Yeah, besides the meat,
I think the ideal diet, although there's no specific one, I think the most ideal diet is one that will keep moving you forward towards your goals.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
Exactly. But it's going to push you forward.
Yeah, push you forward. Yeah, definitely. Because donuts and pizza, that's
not just whatever works for you. Because like, what if what works for you is making you more unhealthy?
I mean, whatever works for your goals.
For your goals,
yeah,
exactly.
Like losing weight or building muscle.
Exactly. You have to strike a balance between what is most efficient and what are you willing to do.
Yeah.
Because I personally think that the most efficient way to get to your, let's say in terms of like losing weight, right, would be, let's say, a whole food, plant-based diet that's raw, right? That might be the fastest way to losing weight. But are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
Most people aren't. So then that diet would not work for most people.
Yep.
And so you got to find, where do you strike the balance between willingness and effectiveness? Now, if you're willing to only do eat one apple in a year, then that's what you're willing to do, but that's not going to be effective. So you got to have a balance between those two.
But if you eat an apple a day, keeps the doctors away.
You love these little these little quotes. And I think it's important to do like trial and error. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're working on a diet and it's like not really effective, then you got to switch it up.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be just stubborn and being like, well, I'm gonna just keep at this thing just because I made my mind up. You know, I mean, I do believe you should have consistency.
Yeah.
But if you're being consistent with something that's not working.
Yeah. If you have the perfect diet, there's no perfect diet, but if you have the perfect thing that the best way to lose weight and you can't stick to it, it's pointless.
Exactly. So, I mean, they say that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So if you know something's not working, you got to change it up. And the thing is, everybody's body type is different.
Yeah, there's 3 body types. What is it? Endomorph, mesomorph, and ectomorph.
Yeah, and not just that, but even if you have the same body type, your body's still different. What a donut for you might affect your body different than a donut for me.
Metabolism.
Metabolism plays a factor, and things like that. So I think that it's important to not just take somebody's meal plan and just follow that to the letter of the law. I think you got to be willing to adjust it.
I don't think anybody would have a donut meal plan. No. I don't know about that.
Well, I hope not. I mean, I have seen some stuff in stores that selling like protein donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like basically a whey donut. I mean, there's different diets out there. I mean, like I personally practice a raw diet for the majority of the year.
Yeah, and I do the A- vegan, which I created. So if you hear that anywhere else, like I said on the previous episode, you heard it from here first. So yeah, the A- vegan basically is you're vegan for 90% of the year. So I have 34 days, cheat days where I eat wherever I want, and then the rest of the year I'm vegan.
So say that again, break that down again.
So I'm vegan for 90% of the year, right? So I have 34 cheat days. The way how I do it is I have 22 cheat days from January to October, and then from November to December, I have 12 extra cheat days, 12 days of Christmas.
Oh, okay.
And then together that forms 34 days.
Oh, I like that. So you get if you were getting a score from a vegan professor, you would get
I would get A minus. That's pretty good.
A minus. Hey, man, that's a pretty good score.
Yeah, I'll take it.
For me, I've been doing the 300 diet.
Yeah.
Well, first off, before we even go to the 300 diet, let me explain what the raw diet is for people who don't really know what that is. A raw diet is where everything you eat is raw and nothing is cooked. So some people say, "Oh, you mean like sushi?" No, it's a type of vegan diet.
Sushi is delicious, though.
I mean, I've never had raw fish before, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But it has to be a vegan diet. Mm-hmm. So it's plant based. So it's vegetables, it's fruits.
I think they
nuts,
do have
and
a raw non-vegan diet, but that's different. But you're the raw vegan diet.
Yeah, this is raw vegan. Raw vegan. Yeah, so nuts, fruits, vegetables, grains, and things like that. That's what it basically boils down to. Boiling, not included. But but the 300 diet, this is something that I created, is where I basically keep a raw diet, but for only 300 days in the year. Mm-hmm. So the other 65, or in this year was a leap year, so the other 66 days, that's when I eat other stuff. 300 days, so pretty much averages out to about 1 day a week that I could take off. And then there's like a couple, like 14 extra days that I could take off. Before this year I'm doing 300 days raw. Last year, I did 6 months straight, like no breaks, no cheat meals, just straight. And but this year I wanted to do more than just 6 months. So, but I didn't want to do 10 months straight. Yeah. So I broke up the 10 months within the year, kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's different diets out there. You could some people do vegetarian, and other people have different versions like vegan,
paleo. What's that? There's a bunch
pescatarian.
Yeah, pescatarian.
The truth is that you gotta tailor something that works for you. So some people are like, some people say, "Oh, you're a vegan, but why are you eating? Why are you eating that sandwich? That sandwich, don't you know that bread might have egg in the bread or something like that?" And it depends on how strict you want to be. You know, it's okay to. It's not what I'm trying to say. It's not all or nothing.
Yeah.
If you're like, well, I'm a vegan for the most part, but occasionally I eat bread that has
like me, A minus vegan,
then what does that mean? Yeah, you're not fully vegan, but guess what? You are healthy,
and you get the health benefits.
Exactly, you're still being healthy.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh man, well, I guess I can't. I guess because I'm gonna eat bread, I guess I'm just gonna eat everything.
Yeah.
You gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You gotta work your way up.
Yep.
You know.
Another Bible text too. From milk to meat, you just work your way up.
Yeah. So, I mean that. So yes, if you want to eat meat, you can. I mean, and while it is definitely not a sin to eat meat for sure. I mean, Jesus served fish. I know people.
And he multiplied it.
And he multiplied
it.
He multiplied the fish. Exactly. He served the fish.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I know people hate hearing that. And yes, I know the fish is different today than it was in Jesus' day. And I remember even hearing somebody say, well, Jesus didn't know better. Are you kidding me? So, I mean, the truth is, if Jesus really wanted to, he could have turned the fish into tofu.
Yeah, he could have done that, Look at some seitan.
I mean, he had bread, and he could have divided the bread more. Yeah. He didn't need to divide the fish. So the truth is that Jesus was okay with serving something that wasn't as ideal as the ideal diet.
Yeah.
He could have grew a tree right there on the spot. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's rather than trying to be legalistic to think, oh, I need to have the perfect diet. Maybe you can't be raw 6 months straight and with no breaks.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Figure out a diet that's going to be better than what your last diet was. And then keep progressing like that. Certain foods are not the best.
Yeah.
Certain foods are not the best for you. For instance, there's certain fats. I mean, there are some healthy fats, and we'll talk about that in another episode eventually. But there's certain fats that
trans fats.
Exactly. There's some fats that you just want to stay away with completely. There's certain food that have no health benefits. I don't know if I know that you can look at the back of the bag of Doritos and there will be a nutritional facts.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's nutrition.
There's no nutrition
in Doritos.
Just a fact. All junk. But once in a while, it's okay to have a Dorito.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But just realize that is not gonna be helping you.
That can be your main diet. Yeah.
That might help you mentally to kind of like be like, well, I'm getting a mental break. I'm giving a break to my taste buds to give you energy or motivation to eat better the next day. So that's really the purpose of, let's say, a cheat meal.
You should plan your cheat meals too, not just just when you're feeling stressed out, you just start eating whatever. If you plan your cheat meals, that can help you succeed.
Exactly. It's kind of like a thing that's kind of like a reward system. Like, all right, well, I'm feeling better now. And or mentally, you're like, I know that I'm not going to never eat my favorite dish ever again.
Yeah.
But highly processed foods you got to stay away from. And then processed sugar is definitely something that's going to mess you up for sure.
You stay away from that for the most part.
And you have other types of dietary plans, not just what you eat, but when you eat it. For instance, like intermittent fasting. Some people plan out their meals in a time frame where they eat most of their meals closer together and they have longer periods of digestion. And I know that in certain studies, you have anti-aging effects that are associated with intermittent fasting, increased insulin sensitivity, improved brain health, reduced inflammation, and a bunch of other benefits. And so there are scientific things that back up not eating, basically, like most people who do intermittent fasting don't eat late at night.
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting is just a fancy way of like, don't eat all the time.
Yeah.
There's
you don't have to do intermittent fasting to have a time where you stop eating. Because for me, I stop eating at 7 p.m. But I don't do intermittent fasting.
Exactly. So in other words, it's basically just having portion control, but also timing control.
Yeah.
There was actually 12 studies that were done that had 1,151 participants, and they were doing a plant-based diet, right? And they found that those people lost almost 4.5 pounds more weight than those people who had a meat-eating diet.
Yeah.
And so it's scientifically proven that to losing weight, staying away from meat is definitely the most efficient.
And not just staying away from meat, but eating the right kinds of vegan food. Eating vegetables, fruits, nuts, greens, not a bunch of vegan bread or a bunch of vegan cake or vegan meats.
Now you just said vegan. The study I was talking about was people who were vegetarian. They were not vegan. The people who are vegan now, they lost 5.5 pounds more than people who are not on a plant-based diet. So they lost an extra pound than the vegetarians. Yeah. So you see that the closer you are to a garden of Eden diet, the better it is in terms of losing weight. There's another study that was talking about the BMI.
Oh yeah, body mass index.
Exactly, body mass index. They found that it was the lowest with vegans. The lowest with vegans, and then the next one was lacto-ovo vegetarian. Then,
lacto-ovo vegetarian?
What that means that it's not completely vegan, but they do.
Is it like a fancy way to say A- vegan?
No, because see, there's a difference between because some people who are vegetarian or they also maybe drink milk, but they don't do egg. And you have others who eat egg but don't do milk. So then it's kind of like differentiation between some of those. And then you have pesco-vegetarian, which was the next highest. Then semi-vegetarian, which is the next highest.
You have pesco-vegetarian, supposed to be like a pescatarian?
Exactly. That's just I guess the official name for one of the names for it, way of saying it. And then semi-vegetarians were next, and then non-vegetarians. So basically, the more and more your diet was restricted, the lower the lower the BMI you had. So again, it just the closer you get to the Garden of Eden diet, the healthier you're going to be. There was another study that on raw. I gotta bring out the raw facts here.
Raw facts. Bring those raw facts.
The raw facts. Another study of people following a raw vegan diet had a total percentage between 7 to 9.5% lower than those eating a typical American diet. 7% to 9+% lower body fat percentage Now that's awesome. I remember when I was on my raw diet, I was able to drop so much body fat. I was able to drop it so low. The six pack was showing and all that stuff. And that was made possible, I truly believe, not from the workouts. The workouts were great, but it was really from the diet that really burnt that fat. And, and the facts prove it. When it comes to women who are on menstruation cycle, I know you're saying, ladies, you're like, you're a man, what do you know? I'm just reading some facts here. They were actually saying that women lose weight faster on a raw diet than men. What you want to be careful of with women on a raw diet is that if you go to the extreme with it, it can mess with your menstruation cycle a little bit. So you gotta be careful with that, not to if you have an unbalanced diet. And so that's the thing. If on a raw diet, you still have to have a balance of nutrition.
Yeah.
In any diet, really. So you could be a vegan, but you could be an unhealthy vegan.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So when you do anything wrong, you gotta basically do your research. You gotta do your study.
Balancing all things. If you're a vegan, if you're a vegetarian, if you're a meat eater, be balanced.
And then, like, scientists note that one of the main ways that a raw vegan diet may impact a woman's fertility is by being in very low in calories. This may cause a woman to drop too much weight, reducing their ability to menstruate. See, the reason why a lot of women don't do too well on a raw diet is because they're not eating enough calories. And that's one of the reasons why I do a general count of calories, is because on a raw diet, you have to basically fight to get those calories. You got to eat a lot.
Yeah.
And so if you're ready to do a raw diet, you got to be prepared to eat plenty of food. The moral of the story is that you have to do the research and you have to be smart with whatever diet you're going in. At the end of the day, there's no diet that's like, okay, this is the prescriptive diet, do it and automatically you're going to be the most ripped guy in the universe. No, you gotta do a little trial and error. You gotta figure out what kind of foods are gonna work for your type of body,
and what you can stick to. What
can you stick to? What is gonna work for the long term? And if you do that, if you figure out what's there and you do your proper research, then definitely you can have a better nutritional lifestyle. And the better and the more you're going towards a Garden of Eden type of diet, scientifically speaking, it lets us know that we're gonna have better health in terms of better body mass index, lower body fat percentage, and we know when the higher fat, the more health risks are in play. Once you're healthier physically, it'll make you healthier mentally, emotionally, and then also that can also affect your spiritual life there. So that's our episode today on Adventfit. I'm glad you guys were able to watch. Keep checking us out. Follow us, subscribe to us, do what you gotta do. You can follow me on any of my social media accounts on WayneJamel.com.
And you can follow me on Instagram /Mr. Woke. That's Woke with an H, WHOKE.
That's right. And so this is Adventfit, and I'm Wayne Jamel.
And I'm C. Jeffrey White, and the C is for cauliflower because you can do anything with that. You can do pizza, you can do hot wings, you can do rice, you can do mashed potatoes. We'll see you in the next one, folks.
It's not spicy. It's not spicy.
It's not spicy? What is that, jalapeno?
Yeah.
A dud jalapeno.